Today we will be talking about small penis humiliation, otherwise known as SPH. It is a form of an erotic humiliation kink. We will be covering what it is, why someone might enjoy it, some examples of small penis humiliation, other kinks that SPH is often associated with, such as cuckolding or CBT, the prevalence of it, and how to reduce risk and engage ethically and healthily. If you found yourself aroused by the fantasy of having your penis humiliated or degraded, or interested in doing the humiliation or degradation, this video is for you.
Welcome to the Pleasure Program. My name is Holly.
I'm Victoria.
We are two licensed therapists who specialize in sex therapy. We are here to answer your questions and share our knowledge around all things related to a healthy and pleasurable sex life. If you haven't checked out our BDSM 101 video, please do so. We cover the basics of BDSM, explain some of the terminology related to BDSM and other forms of kink.
So let's start with just covering erotic humiliation. It's a popular kink. It's obtaining sexual gratification from receiving or providing humiliation or degradation. This pleasure has a lot to do with power and control dynamics, dominant and submissive dynamics. Small penis humiliation is just one form of erotic humiliation where individuals enjoy either providing or obtaining humiliation around the size of their penis, regardless of what their actual size is.
So why might somebody find pleasure in the size of their penis being humiliated? We've talked about masochism in some of our previous videos. This is finding pleasure in the receiving of pain or discomfort. There's also a form of masochism called emotional masochism, which is when somebody finds pleasure in the emotional humiliation or degradate. Am I even saying that right? Degradate. I want to say it. I want to do it right. Degradation. The reason why emotional masochism is appealing to some people, it reinforces this submissive, dominant dynamic, right? Gives the control to the humiliator, the person in that role.
Right. And some people really experience a lot of pleasure in relinquishing control or taking control, right? So that might be why someone is feeling pleasure by humiliating a penis or receiving the humiliation of their penis. Also, in a way, this can really help take control over an insecurity or shame someone might be having and turning it into a sexually satisfying experience.
I find that part to be really interesting and kind of a beautiful thing. You take something that you feel insecure about and turn it into a sexually arousing experience. How cool is that?
Right, where you have full control over it. It's a consensual environment. It feels safe in a way. I agree. There can be arousal in that vulnerability, right? That vulnerability itself can be pleasurable for people. Another reason why this might be appealing or pleasurable for people is we've talked about in other videos, such as one of our kink videos and exhibitionism videos. There is something to be said for conditioning, where there could be a time in someone's life where unfortunately they did experience some humiliation around their penis, and it was paired with some sort of arousal or sexually satisfying experience, and then it's just become paired through conditioning, and now it is a kink of theirs.
Okay. A couple of possibilities of where this particular kink may come from.
Right.
This can also be pleasurable for the person in the humiliator role. When we think about sadism, that is when somebody enjoys inflicting pain or discomfort on another person. They find pleasure in that. And so somebody can find pleasure in inflicting the emotional pain or discomfort through this humiliation related to small penis size.
Exactly. And again, that can be because of the control aspect of it. It can be because of the vulnerability of their partner, right? Very similar reasons behind why this might be pleasurable for the humiliator. So we talked a little bit about how this may be a way for people to take control over an insecurity or shame that already exists. And in our society, in our culture, there's a lot of reasons present for why somebody might have an insecurity or be feeling shame around their penis and why they might be looking to seek some of that control, right?
So some examples of sources of this shame that somebody might be feeling about the size of their penis come from internet porn images, right? They're usually displaying very large penis sizes. Small penis jokes, we hear them. They're in social media, they're in television and films. People make these jokes in conversation.
Right. We talked a lot about that in our penis size video, right? With these references being made in the media to like big dick energy, how it's tied to masculinity, right? So if you don't meet a particular measurement, then it negates your masculinity in some way, right? So there could be an insecurity there. Penis size is very central to desirability in our culture and our media.
Yeah, it's a belief that is perpetuated in our culture. We will link that video below if you're curious to give that a watch. It's all on Does Penis Size Matter?
Even though there are a lot of reasons present why someone might have an insecurity, individuals who don't have an existing insecurity or individuals of all penis sizes can enjoy this kink and be interested in small penis humiliation. So some of you might be curious of what this kink looks like. What does small penis humiliation look like?
One example of what this kink looks like is taking a photo of your penis and sending it to a consenting individual and having them send it to other consenting individuals to judge it, make fun of it, laugh at it, so on.
One example would be having your partner speak to your penis as if they feel sad for you or they're politely trying not to judge you, but they really are, like sighing, acting disappointed, responding to it with like an aw kind of reaction.
That sounds like maybe a subtle way to introduce or engage this dynamic.
Yeah,
It's not too
absolutely.
strong, too harsh.
Right, right. Like baby steps into it, maybe. Whereas maybe the opposite end of the spectrum might be engaging in group humiliation, where you're exposing yourself to a group of consenting people and having the group humiliate you together.
That does sound like the other end of that spectrum.
Right.
Or saying very harsh criticisms verbally.
One of the more common ways to engage in this kink is having the humiliator talk about how unattractive and embarrassing their penis is.
This kink is commonly associated with some other types of kinks, such as CBT, also known as cock and ball torture. And we did do a video on this particular kink that we will link below for you to check out as well. CBT is a form of kink where the individual enjoys pain, physical pain, being inflicted on the genitals and testicles. Some individuals enjoy both aspects, right? The small penis humiliation is the emotional pain inflicted, whereas CBT is the physical pain being inflicted. So for some, they find pleasure in both.
Another popular pairing is with cuckolding, which is when someone is aware and present while they are being cheated on or their partner is being unfaithful to them. So, for example, small penis humiliation might be paired with cuckolding when a submissive male wants to be told that they're too pathetic to please anyone while they watch their partner receive pleasure by someone seemingly more equipped.
Let's talk about how this kink can be incorporated in a healthy way.
First and foremost, I think consent and communication are key elements to this being a healthy kink. We talk about consent in a lot of our videos. It is extremely important. It's when all individuals involved in a kink or in a scene are completely aware and willing and wanting to engage in all aspects of what is going on. Right? So that's very important. There is a potential of going too far, right, and causing real harm. So there are ways to avoid and decrease this risk.
Having a safe word is really important, right? Even if you're just engaging in this kink verbally, we can go too far with our language and our words, right? I mean, words can hurt. So having a safe word for that individual so that they know either partner can have a safe word if they feel like this is getting to a place of discomfort or they're not finding it pleasurable.
Right. I think it's really important to go slow, right? You might feel that you are ready and wanting a particular type of humiliation, but maybe we can start in baby steps before that to make sure that's going okay and there is no safe word being used.
Prior to engaging in this kinky behavior, it's important that you really explore boundaries around what feels pleasurable and what might feel like it's gone too far. So you can be prepared to actively participate in this kink in a way that feels okay for everybody.
Right. Humiliation can look different for different folks. So a humiliator might feel ready and willing to humiliate in what they know that looks like, but that may look very different for you. So setting up clear boundaries of what's appealing is really important so there's no miscommunication.
Another way to explore your own internal boundaries and preferences related to small penis humiliation would be to view pornography and get a sense of what would feel pleasurable for you before bringing in a consenting partner.
And as we've talked about in our BDSM video, aftercare is really important, right? This can be a very vulnerable kink, might stir up some strong emotions. So having an idea of how to take care of yourself or the person that you are humiliating after the scene, or if you are the humiliator, how to care for yourself after a scene is really important too. Just to touch on prevalence quickly, I don't believe, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, someone please let us know. I don't believe that there are numbers out there for the prevalence of this kink in particular of SPH, where we don't really have numbers and research yet, to my awareness. But if you're struggling with shame around having this particular interest, I think it's important to know that they found that 46% roughly of respondents in a research study reported engaging in BDSM activity with humiliation and power being among the most popular interests. So humiliation is a popular kink. You're not alone.
When we shared our CBT video, we had a lot of people comment and share their stories and their perspective on that particular kink. And a lot of those individuals talked about how they appreciated having an open and non-judgmental conversation about that kink. And it was really encouraging to know that they are not alone. So we really encourage anybody viewing this video who has explored small penis humiliation and or has a story to share about their journey related to this kink. I think it could create a strong sense of community and let others know they're not alone. So please comment below if you feel compelled to do so. We'd love to hear from you.